I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about, should I break no contact at Christmas? Now, I wanted to do this video a little bit earlier because I know the holidays are coming up for many of you who celebrate it in just, a little bit more than a couple of weeks. And it's a really, really difficult time. It's really confusing. And I know you wanted to talk about how difficult, it can be at the holidays.
Right. Just as sort of general information that's handy to have. The holidays can be absolutely magical and wonderful for some people, but they can be an absolute horror show for people whose lives are not going right.
Yes.
And I remember at one point in my career I worked with kids in foster care, and I remember one of them saying to me, if I see one more happy family at a happy Christmas dinner, I'm going to lose it. And you could absolutely see where she was coming from. So for people who are presented with all this happiness and cheer, who don't feel like it inside, it can be a very difficult time. It can be a time when people are sad. It can be a time when people are in the worst mood ever. Mm-hmm. Right? Absolutely.
I can think back to, when I broke up with the girl at the Applebee's. I was only, it happened in September, October, November, so 3 months out. And so it was, killing me.
You were still depressed at Christmas, of course.
It was horrible, and I desperately wanted to reach out. I thought, I gotta reach out. I want to reach out. I just want to talk to her on Christmas. That's really the only thing you want when you're going through a breakup, is to hear from that person for Christmas, and it's so incredibly painful.
Right.
And it's like depressing, because, in my situation, I knew she had dated somebody else, and she was with somebody else.
Right.
She was happy with them. I would occasionally see pictures on Facebook of them together, and it was just...
It was awful for you.
It was horrible.
It was awful.
And so, I didn't, because I knew that at that point, I saw pictures of him at her mother's house, and then I was just like, oh great, now she's bringing this guy to her mother's house. The family's met this guy. That must mean her daughter's met this guy. And that's what it really...
You had been very attached with her too, and with her for at least a Christmas before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was terrible.
And so I know what it's like to go through that. So that's why I wanted to put this out early for you guys to really think about, because it is an important decision whether or not you reach out for them on Christmas, okay? Some situations, it depends upon what's going on. You can reach out. And that's why I wanted to give plenty of time for you guys, that if you're in a situation where you don't know if you should reach out and you're contemplating it, sign up for a coaching with me. Let me evaluate it so you don't, do something that you regret or feel bad about afterwards.
Yeah, or give somebody a false message that, you're back in their lives, or, that you're worrying about them in a way that gives them hope that may not be real. You don't want to do that.
All right, so I had a brief email that somebody said to me recently. It says, hey Craig, I'm a huge fan of your channel. Christmas is coming up, and it's killing me not to be talking to my boyfriend of 4 years. I've had quite a few people bring up Christmas to me already.
I bet you have.
And, for teachers, it's not very far away that they get out of school and they're on that Christmas winter break.
Right.
And so they're reminded even sooner than some other people.
Yes.
She says, we broke up in mid-October and I haven't heard from him in a while. We were fighting for several months. That is very common.
Yeah.
And I think he started to have a crush on a woman at work. Also very common. Mm-hmm. He said he was confused and doesn't want to be with me when he wants to explore other options.
Okay.
I know he is casually seeing her, but I haven't heard from him in over a month. I really want to message him a Merry Christmas. Do you think that would be a good idea? Okay. Well, I don't know the full extent of what was going on here.
No.
But I thought it would be a good topic just to bring up generally. In this situation, just based on what she wrote, he said that he wants to explore other options. He's casually dating this other girl. I wouldn't recommend reaching out.
I wouldn't either, no. You have to go back and look at what the person said, and what he said was quite clear. I don't want to be with you, I want to explore, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And so, it could be even more painful for you if you reach out and he doesn't reply.
And he doesn't respond, which is very likely, unfortunately.
It would be hard not to respond to somebody at least Merry Christmas back.
Yeah.
But it would not be likely for the wrong reasons. They might do it out of guilt.
Yes, guilt would be it, probably.
Not really because they wanted to hear from you.
Right.
And honestly, let's say he didn't want to hear from her. Let's say, it's not that he didn't want to hear from her because he doesn't care, but just because he doesn't want to hurt her further.
Right.
Then he's going to feel even worse because now he's sitting there thinking, oh, she's thinking about me on Christmas.
Now he's in a bind.
I have to message her back, but I don't want to give her the wrong idea.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm dating this other girl now, and, now she's going to be feeling, oh my gosh, maybe this sense of hope that he replies back, Merry Christmas too.
So he's in a lousy position, yeah. Just by what looks like an innocent reach out.
Yeah, and so it can be tough, and you really don't want to put your ex in that situation based on this, what we're reading here. I mean, sometimes you guys are in, contact with your ex, and you're talking to him, and this and that. There's so many different variations that I talk with every day. But, when you're in a situation like this where they're dating somebody new, I'm not reaching out.
No, it's a no-win.
Of course, if they reach out, then
That's a different matter.
then you could be like,
Sure.
Merry Christmas to you,
Sure.
how are things, or whatever you're going to say there. But, I think that you really pointed out how difficult it can be to go through this because, a lot of times maybe we grew up in homes where we didn't have good childhood,
right.
Christmas,
Yeah.
or holidays,
Right.
whatever you celebrate.
Right. Then you already know those feelings. If everybody else in the world is having a wonderful time, even at Target they're dancing,
Jeez,
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's just so happy, and it can be very difficult. The other thing is that it's a difficult, for a new relationship particularly, it's a difficult season to manage. Because if you haven't had a lot of contact with your partner's family, chances are there was some contact somehow at Thanksgiving, and you may have met a family that scared you, or you didn't like, or you didn't feel comfortable with, so you have to not only evaluate the relationship and how you're going to handle the holiday, but you have to deal with all of that stuff that can come up.
Absolutely.
And people can, be in an early stage of a relationship, and what do you get him for Christmas? What do you get her for Christmas? How personal should it be? How
That's
sort
a
of
lot of
generally
pressure.
should it be? Yes. And we know that men don't like to shop. But yeah, people have broken up around that. I don't know what to get my partner for Christmas, so I just better break up. I don't know what to do.
I know it sounds like a bizarre logic, but some people
I've known it to happen. I've had people tell it to me. And I've responded with humor, with, well, it's better to buy it after Christmas anyway. You can save a few bucks, But, there are many difficult things to navigate and negotiate. Religion comes up around Christmas as well. Does your family go to church? Do you go to church?
Mm-hmm.
Do you, do you
Different
have
beliefs?
in common or not? Yeah, you got vastly different cultural backgrounds.
I
So
think
it's it's all happy time of year, sort of, but not always.
I think one of the biggest things that I see is the pressure on what to, what to get somebody that you're dating, somebody new.
Yes.
How much do I spend?
Right.
What happens if you buy them this big extravagant gift and they like, I didn't know we were exchanging gifts.
Right. Or here's your appointment book for next year. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden both of you are going to be like, well, this is really awkward.
Well, here's a strange idea. How about you talk about it and say, it can be hard at the beginning of a relationship. I want to get you something, but you know, I don't want you to feel obligated, or whatever you say. But, you know, it can save a lot of awkwardness.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you know, obviously we're not suggesting you reach out. I mean, at least based on a situation similar to this one. But I know many of you guys are really have put in even a lot of thought of thinking, should I get my ex something? What should I get them?
Right.
I want to get them this. I really care about them. I really want to...
Right. Even though we broke up, you know, yeah, it wouldn't have been our first choice, but it happened. Yes, of course.
Which can be like a grand gesture.
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to buy something for your ex, hoping that it'll spark romantic feelings again.
Yeah.
It's like trying to do a grand gesture.
Whatever you decide to do, low-key is better.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because if they did for some reason get you something nice, you could say, well, you know, I didn't, you know, expect something this extravagant from you or whatever, but, you know, I'd be happy to take you and come up with some really nice date or event with them and say, you know, I thought we could do this together.
Yeah.
But a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. And a lot of very uncomfortable pressure. And relationships are not always easy either. Yeah.
And the other thing is that, you know, if you spent the holidays with this person maybe for years and...
That's kind of a different matter, yeah.
But I mean, if, like, let's say you spent, you know, a holiday, you were with somebody for 5 years and you spend all those Christmases with them, it's so painful.
Right.
And you're like, I don't know where to go.
Right.
I don't know what to do.
And you might have been attached to their family and all of that.
And I know recently I talked to quite a few people that were depressed over Thanksgiving because they had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They had no people they really wanted to be with but that one person.
But that one. And Christmas is more intense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's completely understanding to be going through all these, you know, hurt feelings, pain. It's perfectly normal. And, you know, if you don't want to work with us, of course you can get yourself a therapist locally.
Of course. Always.
But it's so much better to talk about these things, to deal with it. And, you know, I'll be happy to talk to you about your situation, explore what I would do in your situation, because that's how I like to handle it. How would I handle it if I was in your situation? What would I do?
Right.
It can get complicated, it can get a little messy come Christmas time. So, you know, I thought it'd be better to think about these things earlier.
And your partner has a child. Can you get the child a present?
Oh,
should you
yes.
get the child a
my
present?
gosh.
What should you do about that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It depends.
Yeah.
It really does depend.
And you may also have other people in your family who have a hard time at Christmas. So just for the sake of general knowledge, you know, if Aunt so-and-so goes into a blue funk every holiday and gets the whole family upset, be prepared and have a plan.
Well, you know, there's enough time where if you have any particular questions that you have about the holidays, write the comments below. We'll take a look at them.
Sure.
And if we see anything that would really spark a good video idea, we can always cover that before the holidays come up.
Or if you have specific questions, get them into us.
Yes,
and
of course.
We'll be happy to treat whatever that is.
Okay. So, yeah, tough to think about.
Very difficult.
And
sometimes.
even tougher not to do. Because, I know many of you guys are just going to stare at your phone all day.
Right.
They didn't text me, they didn't text me, they didn't text me. It's so difficult.
So, yeah,
I did it.
Yeah, I know.
So, I know what you guys are going through. And, of course, if you want to get my help on this situation, discuss it, discuss the holidays, whatever's coming up, that's what I'm here for. Just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the option that works best for you. I do email, I do Skype. If you got to get with me right away, I do offer emergency Skype. And you'll probably be seeing Margaret on the website if you haven't seen her up there already.
All right.
As an option for some Skype coaching. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.